Hey, Tribe, what's up? We've got another typology interview with Floris. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing good, yeah. Good to finally
Nice.
talk to you. We've been friends, I guess we can say friends for a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah, pretty
Yeah, for a
much.
while. Yeah. So just let's start with how did you get here? What are you doing in
Oof.
typology? Yeah.
Yeah, like most of us, I think it all started with a bad date.
Oh
I
wow.
had a I had a Tinder date, I think in the summer of 2020, and it went horrible. At least I thought it went good, but then afterwards the horribleness came out. And she had a four-letter acronym in her Tinder profile. I think it
Okay.
was ENFJ. And I was like, yeah, what's that? So I started researching it. I did a 16 personalities test, and
Oh cool.
INFJ came out, like everyone. Started reading up on it, really identifying with it, like really thinking I was doing my demons all the time. And I think at like 2 months in, I came upon a video with Dave explaining the 32 types of INFJs, and I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to cut it. At that point, I was already reading up on Jung and reading up on what actually are the functions. I was pretty interested in that, and then I think at one point I just clicked the video from OPS, and it just all clicked. For me, this was way more scientific, way more true.
Yeah.
And yeah, I joined the class, got addicted, got hooked, and here I am.
Cool.
That's eight
Awesome.
months, I think now. Yeah, a
Yeah.
bit more. Yeah.
And you've been sort of working on a website with your girlfriend, or are you more than girlfriend, boyfriend now, or
We're still boyfriend girlfriend, but
okay?
who knows?
Who knows, right? Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. We're
I
we're
hope I
working
didn't cause a
on.
fight.
No, no, no. She'll probably hit me over the head with it, but
Yeah.
yeah, we've
Um,
been working on a website called OP Science Club, which the intent of it is to get a more clear picture on the information surrounding OPS. So,
right.
especially when it comes to the coins and the definitions and how you can see it, we wanted to create a website, a central hub for all that information. And at the same time, I think Ryan and Jana, they came up with, of course, of
Yeah.
course, yeah, Jana and Ryan, they came up with the Airtable, and then later on the Discord. So it all kind of mushed together a bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, at this point, we're hosting the website. We're creating content for it weekly, doing a bunch of different things, mainly for.
That's
Oh,
really awesome.
nice.
Rob's also
Thanks,
doing a
man.
website, so you guys are
Yeah, no,
competing
I
sort of
love his
thing, but
website.
yeah.
Really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're focusing now a bit on education. Like, how can we get people like more educated within the OP system? How can they see coins a bit differently? Not everyone likes to show or likes to watch videos. Maybe in the classes they get their information a bit different, so the different learning styles as well. So
Yeah.
we're focusing a bit on
Cool.
that at the moment. Yeah.
Really awesome. And it's more on the basics and less on like speculation and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we wanted
Yeah.
to host like a discourse, kind of like a Discord forum, but more with
Yeah.
static posts. But then the Discord came along, and that filled that complete gap. So we kind of
Yeah.
dropped that, and we're focusing now on the education part. Yeah.
And what I really like seeing with you and Melanie together was how you're very welcoming to new members in the community, and you're hosting a watch party. Like even if they're not typed or whatever, you're just
Yeah.
inviting everybody. You're hosting it, and yeah, it's really cool to see that kind of I don't know, family environment that you're creating. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the original idea from the watch party came from Melanie. She saw it in the States, I think, and then
Right.
she kind of pushed me with her blast to get involved in that. And I'm actually really happy that we did, because we created a small kind of group within the bigger community. We can all call each other friends at the moment. We're talking about personal things, and it's been really helpful, really cool as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. And well, I mean, like it's not like you had a choice against Melanie. You're Blast Last, so
No, no,
you're
no,
not going to say
no,
no.
no, yeah.
Blast Last doesn't say no.
No, no.
Yeah.
She'll find ways to convert a no into a yes. So
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, let's talk about your type a little bit. But anyone who's interested in checking out Floris and Melanie's website, they've got a lot of new stuff coming. They've got a lot planned,
yeah,
right? A lot of things they want to do and add. So check it
definitely.
out every so often. So let's talk a little bit about TI. Do you see it in yourself? Like, I guess at first you weren't seeing it when you were an INFJ, but now that you're an
Yeah.
ISTP, you see it?
Yeah, definitely. It's always on. It's always there. It's always trying to figure out who I am, how I can make myself more significant. Um, and it's masculine, right? So it's just it's very stubborn. It's just constantly. So it's hammering down the emotions. That's something that I've discovered as well. It's just pushing down the FE to an extent
Okay.
where I'm not even looking at the tribe. So the TI is pretty cool and all, but it's pushing away the demon, the FE, in which at some point I can go days without even thinking of another person. So that's where I see the TI the most.
Yeah,
It's just
I've been
general
there.
stubbornness. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What about in terms of I don't know, how do you, because just having like the low blast and the feminine FE, right? It's hard to say no to the tribe, even though we're all in on the TI. But if the tribe comes in or someone asks for something, it's really hard to say no, for me at least. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I get that. Even though we usually say no to things, we do end up helping people, and when we do, it feels like a big thing. It feels like, oh, I finally helped someone.
Okay.
But I guess, yeah, with the feminine FE, there's a lack of a punch there. So definitely, when it
Yeah.
comes to our own feelings, our own needs and wants, our priorities, let's say, it's hard to say no to people. Yeah, definitely. Although
Yeah.
I think in reality we do say no a lot, but just in different ways. We kind of remove ourselves from tribes. We do our own thing, not letting other people watch us, stuff like that. So it shows up differently, but yeah, in direct conversation, we tend to just be flowy with the tribe. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you also have the double masculine, double activated, consume. So I see it as a bully sometimes. Do you see it? Do you see it like bullying people sometimes?
Probably, in ways in which I'm like, yeah, you should have consumed that, or you should already know this. Like, this isn't
Right.
going to work, or it's also ST consume, right? So it's
Yeah.
very dry, very. This is the information, and that's all you need to know, kind of thing.
But
But
also like when someone's telling you something and it doesn't ring true, you know that thing where it's just like,
yeah,
how can you say that? So like
yeah,
there's a need to push back there, I guess. Do you get that?
yeah. I guess so. I think it shows up a bit more with the TI no, in which we will say no but actually mean yes. Which is a very interesting phenomenon, I think. But with the consume, it's hard to describe your first function. I can
Yeah.
talk all day about sleep or even play, but that first
Right.
animal is just, especially because it's double activated with the blast last.
Yeah.
I'm just consuming all day. Basically, that's what I'm doing.
And so what kind of stuff are you consuming? I know you're a science fiction fan. That's primarily what you're doing.
Yeah, a lot of science fiction, also a lot of stuff for work. I like to still consume like programming stuff, and it's just mainly my interests. So whatever I find interesting, I just
Yeah.
consume the shit out of, basically, and just
You decide what you consume. It's not like someone's
yeah,
like, "Hey, you should check this out." You're not going to go do it.
yeah, no, definitely not. No, if
Yeah.
I want to consume it, then I will. Yeah,
Right.
but yeah, it's a big difference between like the EP consumes. I feel that they have a bigger urge to consume for the sake of consuming, whereas the TIs, the IPs, I think they consume more for the sake of themselves. So
Yeah.
whatever we consume, we need to like it. We need to want to grow from it. It's more like a specialized consume, but specialized for ourselves.
Yeah. Um, do you see that your consume is in service of building a framework sometimes? Because I feel like that as well.
Sometimes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. So all my life I've been trying to figure out how I work. Why me, and I'm so special and all that stuff. And that's, I think, what initially brought me into MBTI. It's a way of explaining, whatever is going on here. And
Yeah.
that consume definitely, it's definitely in service of the TI. So whenever I want to figure something out or I want to know something about myself, I'll go consuming, and otherwise I won't. Basically.
So how does that work? How does consuming help you know yourself better?
That's a good question. So I'm trying to make it fit. Everything I consume, I'm trying to fit into. I think that's the TINI. It's the inner framework. I describe it as a B+ tree, and I'm always shifting it into whatever I want it to be. So I have this identity, this way of looking at myself, and I'm trying to adjust that. But I'm only looking at it from a TI point of view. So I'm not taking a lot of outside perspective. I'm just taking the perspectives I want to fit into that TI. So yeah, and it being double masculine, it just takes a lot of energy throughout the day. I
How do
can
you
be
decide?
distracted.
Yeah. Sorry. How do you decide
Yeah.
what perspective is valuable? Like, how do you decide that that's a good perspective, that's not? Because it fits in with what you already know or what you want to see, like confirmation bias?
So yeah, when it comes to me as a person, there's definitely a lot of bias there. That's just the way I want to see myself, and I want to see how I am valuable in the tribe. But that's just all me. I think when it comes to worldview and what am I doing on this planet, stuff like that, there's a bit more double observing going on, in which I can park questions like that sometimes. I'll just revisit it in a year. So there's not a lot of tension there, but definitely when it comes to me and my identity, it's just if I don't agree with it, I'll just shun it away. I'll just not look at it, or I'll interpret it differently, but unknowingly. So like I'm not knowing that I'm doing it, but it's still happening.
Yeah. So okay, so what determines that you don't agree with it?
I think that comes from the demon tribe. So whenever other people are saying, well, you are this, you are that, or you identify with this, especially TE, they'll be more like, this is you, this is how you're thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't agree. And it will be instant, right? It will be an instant TI, no, that's not me. And then later when I start thinking about it, it's like, yeah, maybe a bit. But that all happened after OP. So before OP, I was not completely unconscious, I wouldn't say, but there was a lot of, I think it was just a lot of pain of not being understood. Like, I'm so unique, I'm a beautiful snowflake, stuff like that. But also, I have, so for me, I have a unique way of thinking. And if other people start to change that or want to change that or want to adjust it, it just feels icky. It feels like
Or
you're
box you
trying
in.
to move it.
Yeah. Say, yeah, this is who you are. I hate that.
It's annoying. Yeah. But the confirmation bias it's such an interesting thing, in which sometimes you might be aware of it, like, yeah, I don't identify with this, or maybe I do, but I don't want to. But usually it's just a way of, so yeah, maybe jumping around a bit, so a bit of channel change.
No, go for it. Yeah.
One of the things I've discovered in doing the FE more is every time you get like a breakthrough, like an emotional thing happening, you get more visibility on the TI. So most of the times the TI is just running its thing on the background, churning away, and you're not really seeing what it's doing. There's a bunch of decisions in there, a bunch of logic blocks that just exist and it's kind of like a black box. So when the FE comes along, it sheds a light on those black box things, and you can start analyzing where you were wrong or where you were right, and how to integrate that into your new worldview, basically. So that's how I'm seeing it at the moment.
Yeah. Do you see yourself also like constantly scanning to make sure things check out, things are right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's I think it's mostly the SE, the masculine SE, in which if I'm not seeing it correctly, I want to see it better. I want to make sure that I've scanned the environment, that it's safe. Sometimes it feels like a survival instinct, in which I am the archetype or whatever that is just scanning if everything is safe or is working, or like if there's a water dam about to break, then maybe the ISTP will spot that, a bit early,
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. But
I meant more in terms of like, okay, let's say someone is doing their blast thing or giving over a lesson or information. Do you hear all of the contradictions popping up in your head constantly?
that's interesting. Usually, I'm just in my head, right? It's to consume sleep, and I'm just analyzing whatever I want to analyze. So
Right.
it's hard to say, but I'm definitely not paying that much attention to, what other people are actually saying. It's more when it's about me, then I'll wake up and I'll start seeing the contradictions. But yeah, actually in work, that might happen when people are just throwing around ideas. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not
Can
gonna
you hear the
work.
cat, by the way? It's
Yeah, a little bit.
sorry about that. It's not my
Mine is
cat. It's
pretty
outside.
quiet. But,
Yeah.
oh wow, that's annoying.
Yeah. Sorry.
But yeah, in work, I sometimes do that. But I think I'm more contradicting myself, actually, to be honest. In which, again, the TI, it's invisible. I will say something one time and then say a completely different thing 5 seconds later, and I'm unaware of it. But with other people, yeah, I guess it might happen.
So
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I do see that sometimes where people think I'm contradicting myself, but I'm not actually. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, the cat is actually
Like there's
right.
always an explanation onto why you're not contradicting yourself. Like it makes perfect
Yeah.
sense in my own head that there's no contradiction, but it sounds like there might be one to others.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That comes a bit of or the way I see it is the TI is very good in making up reasons why it works for me. So yeah, the TI can do pretty cool things, but the TI can also be very destructive to your own identity, in which it's just stacking wrong reasons. But we don't see those reasons as wrong; we see them as subjective, so they're right for us.
Right. So okay, so the fact that you're so aware of this, like this is what I'm trying to think of right now. The fact that you're so aware that you're doing this, right? Doesn't that lend isn't that just like a being careful of it, like being aware that this can happen and I don't want to let this happen? Um
Yeah,
like so what I'm getting at is here is the TI is that's not what the TI is doing, that's what the TI is trying to protect against.
right. Um, so let me see if I get this straight. So the TI is protecting you against contradictions.
Against the not just the contradictions, but like our own delusions, like getting stuck in our own delusion, in our own falsehoods, like making sure
Right.
that what we have in our head is true, and aware that we can lie, aware that we can make up reasons so that we don't do that.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely some form of awareness going on there, in which, like in daily decisions, you'll see yourself doing it. You'll see that it's wrong, but you still do it. Or, but that's the thing. That's those are only the things you can see, and that for me has been the biggest um, like awakening moment in which there's so many things in the TI that you're not even seeing when you're unconscious, where you're just doing your thing. It's just stacking logic to make you're basically shaping yourself to become the person you want to be. And that's the only thing the TI is doing. It's just stacking and making sure that our logic is sound for ourselves. And then
Yeah.
when it comes to,
So here's here's my little contradiction on what you're saying, because like if you build up wrong reasons too high, you'll screw yourself over in the end.
yeah, definitely.
And like I feel like I'm being very meticulous and aware that like yes, I can make up false reasons, I can build a tower improperly, but I'm doing my utmost not to, and I'm trying not to let that slip. Like I'm trying to double, triple check things, like being very
Yeah.
meticulous. I don't yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's mostly the double observers, to be honest, that we won't go, off a cliff in those two. I think a good example would be me at work. So I always wanted my own office. Like I wanted a place for my own. Well, being introverted, that makes sense, right? But I convinced myself that I was the kind of person that needs their own office, and that's actually how the TI presents itself. Like I'm not asking for an office; I'm demanding it without actually asking it. So,
And then you've got all
and
these
now,
reasons why you need it.
yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
I can come up with them on the fly. What I'm not seeing is that those reasons are only working for me. That's the thing I'm blind to. So when it
yeah,
actually comes to working with others and making it work for others, that's where we don't see our own mess. I mean, in the end, you might get that office, or you might get the thing you wanted, but the tribe has reluctantly gave you it, and not because your reasons were good. The reasons
yeah,
were selfish.
yeah.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's an interesting take on this. I'm not sure I agree, but that's my TI.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. How do you see it?
Um,
How do you see the logic stacking in your TI?
um, I think I'm just really more careful with stacking up bad reasons, and I think that's what you're doing too. Like, I think because you're so aware of it, you're very conscious of stacking bad reasons. Like, this is the same thing. So what I feel when we're talking, right? I feel like we're both trying to get to something true. I don't feel like you're trying to be like, oh, I'm smarter than you, right? Like you know those arguments where someone is just like putting their ego and they want to prove that their TI is better or whatever, right? That's not that's not what we're doing, and that's not what, like, if I see a TI dumb, I usually don't see them doing that. I usually see them just trying to be like, okay, let's get to the truth. I don't care if I'm wrong or not, but just be gentle, because what I have built is delicate. It's got moving parts, it's structured, and I'm not going to throw it all away. Like, I might have a little flaw here and there, but it's not all bad.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. That's interesting. So yeah, from what I'm seeing is that the TI will do that, definitely. The TI will be careful about it as well. But once you encounter a person that is just not handling the TI with like silk gloves, then we take it personal. We throw a hissy fit. We get like
Yeah.
angry, like teenager angry, and I think that's where the TI will start coming up with reasons why our argument is better than the other person. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where we completely go off a cliff. Because at that point you're just bullshitting. That's basically it. But yeah, a healthy
Yeah.
TI, a healthy ISTP with the double observers, yeah, they'll definitely be able to, break from that TI. But once you're invested, like I've noticed a couple of times in work as well, I've built something, a component,
Yeah.
and it's mine, and I really don't like people even building on it, like adding ideas. If I didn't come up with it, I feel like a failure sometimes because I should have come up with it. So that's, I guess, another thing that the TI is doing. It's holding ourselves to such a high standard because we're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
checking in with the tribe. It's just we feel like a failure when the TI doesn't check out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to go back to that bullshitting thing, because like I feel like I can bullshit if I wanted to, but I don't know. I don't, like, I'm constantly trying to make sure I'm not bullshitting. So like
Right.
even in those situations, it's when the TI is being challenged or not being handled by silk gloves, like you said. So even in those situations, it's less I'm gonna bullshit. It's more trying to protect yourself. Trying to, I don't know, trying to say, hey, there's more here than you're seeing. Like, actually take the time to look at this. So I don't feel like there's a bullshit. I don't know. I'm seeing it differently a little bit.
Yeah. Well, one of the differences I'm seeing between us two, from the conversations that we've had and watching interviews,
Yeah.
is so I'm energy. right? I have consume and play in the top three,
Sure.
and from what I'm seeing, is you are more correct when it comes to the information. You will make sure that the information is correct before starting to bullshit. And then when I come in, I
Before
start
starting.
bullshitting, and then afterwards, I'll make sure the information is correct. So it's just a difference of,
Okay.
yeah,
So okay, so the times that I do quote unquote bullshit, I think that's an I, to be honest.
yeah, could
Where
be,
it's I'm just taking guesses, and like, okay, if I'm bullshitting, I'm aware it's bullshit, right? And it's like, okay, let me go down this path of bullshit, just to see if it's not bullshit.
right. But are you then talking about like a conversation about information or a conversation about you? Like when you're in a relationship or whatever.
No, yeah, no information. Definitely about
Right.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's like,
Yeah.
because like you want to like you want to have your thoughts free enough that like you can think unconventional thoughts. You
Yeah.
can You're not tied down by convention. You're not tied down by what other people are saying is real. You want to know what's like, you want to see if something is really true, not if
Yeah.
just, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and to do that, you need to sometimes allow yourself to wander a little bit. And I think that's the SE being like, let go a little bit of reality and allow yourself to into, and
Yeah.
that's where I think the bullshit comes in. But you're
Yeah, no,
aware of it.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. When double observing, I can definitely see the bullshit versus accuracy game going on. Um, but that's the easy part, right? The double observing is just that comes natural.
Yeah.
But then when we're not seeing that we're bullshitting is when it comes to the double deciding part, in which we're trying to get away with things we kind of know we shouldn't get away with, and that's where the
How
bullshitting
so?
starts. Well, me with Blast Last, I get by like in work. I'll have days in which I'm very very productive, and then days in which I'm just kind of bullshitting my way through. I'm
Oh
still
yeah,
doing the
yeah,
work. I'm still being valuable, but I could do more. I know I could do more, but I'm not doing it.
yeah.
And that's just the IP in me, where it's just self significance.
Right. Yeah, yeah. No, I'll have days like that too, where I'm not doing the work, and I'll be like, I'll make up for it tomorrow. But you can only say that so many days in a row before
Right?
you're like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Before the
you're
tribe
not making
comes,
up.
dude,
Right.
where's your work? Yeah,
What have you been doing for the last week?
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then the real bullshitting starts. I think then when we get caught, there's
Right.
like,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. 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 But okay. But that bullshitting, you're aware it's bullshitting. Like you're not lying to yourself.
yeah, true. At that point, you're trying to save whatever is left to save.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe we are aware of whatever it is we're doing, but I do also think that the awareness came a lot more after OP, after realizing that I am an IP idiot.
Hmm.
I think that really kickstarted a whole new way of. It's basically waking up. Whenever you are in a situation where your demons are triggered, if you can wake up, you'll start to realize, oh, now I'm bullshitting. Oh, this is a good reason, or this isn't. So I think that those moments before OP, I would just be bullshitting unknowingly. Like
Right.
I
Yeah.
like maybe not unknowingly, but I would believe in my own reasons,
Yeah.
even
And
though I
so,
know they're bullshit.
yeah. And so, like, getting around that and like having the integrity there and not bullshitting, like facing the music and being honest, it's it's not always the right move to make, I think.
No, no. Yeah, it's.
um
I've had situations in which we had a deadline at work, and I would be just my normal ISTP self and not giving a damn. Basically, just I would give a damn, but I wouldn't show it. So everyone would be like, "Do you even care about the deadline? Do you care about the team?" And I would be like, "Yeah, sure." Yeah. And that would be the most honest thing. And at that point in time, they were expecting for me to show a little bit of emotion, a little bit of commitment. And I would be just my TI self and be like very honest. Yeah, I care without
Yeah.
emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. And what else can I say about that?
I mean, so
Yeah.
this is what kind of, so with my ex-wife, she would be like, I don't think you love me. I'm like, yeah, I love you. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
It's just a fact. Like,
right.
yeah,
And
sure.
to us, it makes sense.
Yeah.
To us, it makes sense. It's actually, if we really know it, then yeah, it will come out like that. It's a very
Matter of
um,
fact. Yeah.
yes. But to the other person, it's just like our robot. Yeah. Yes, I love you. Yes, you are awesome.
Right. And then it seems like we're lying when we say it too.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it just feels so, yeah, so robotic, right? It's just too ST.
And
That's
it's
it.
even worse though when you try to put emotion into it because it feels even more fake.
Yes. Yes, because I think you're coming at it from a TI standpoint, and
Right.
that's just the wrong way of doing it. I think when it comes to emotions, when it comes to the tribe, you just have to let go of the TI.
Yeah.
And
So here's how I see it, because I don't see my perception of myself, right? And so I could see my emotions if I look in a mirror, but I can't see my emotions if I'm looking internally, right? I can, and same thing, I would leave a voice message where I'm like sharing emotions and it just sounds so fake. But I know, like, honestly with myself that I'm actually
yeah,
being genuine. I'm actually saying, like, what I'm saying is actually true. It's just the emotion aspect of it. Like,
right.
if I
I
didn't
get
put
you.
emotion in, it might not sound fake, but it doesn't sound genuine, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there have been instances in which I had to do the FE, and it just feels like you're putting on a mask. You're not being your true authentic self, and
Right.
that feels like you're making a disservice of yourself. You're not being who you really
Yeah.
are for some reason. Yeah, but that's just the belief we put in ourselves. Being TI first, it's just that is the most important function in the world, and the rest can just doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Have you had the tribe tidal waves a little bit in your life? Has that happened?
Um, yeah, I've had a bunch. Like
Yeah.
there've been quite a few in which so usually what happens is I kind of demand something. I want something to happen
Okay.
because I feel that the other people are responsible for it, and it usually happens when I haven't done the FI myself and haven't done the tribe view of how other people look at my F actually. And so at work, I once demanded a raise because I thought I should get the raise. I thought of myself as being that good. And if you go
Yeah.
into a conversation with that kind of air, that kind of attitude, the tribe isn't going to respond well to that. You're going all in on your DI, and they're like, oh, there's that person again. So, and at one point, I just drove it almost off a cliff. This was after OP,
Yeah.
in which I just kept demanding things, and I wasn't happy with the offer they were giving me. And at one point, I just woke up and started realizing, oh damn, I'm just doing the TI way too much. And then I looked at it from their point of view, and I was just that idiot that is just demanding more and more and more, while not giving the same back in the actual work.
Hmm.
So, and once I started looking from that point of view, I can now see I have to do more work, better work. I have to grow myself,
Yeah.
and then I can start demanding, and then it's fair.
So I'm wondering if that's not even true. Like I'm because like it sounds like you're going into your saviors, and I. So here's what I'm thinking. It's like they will give you a raise if they like you and they want to keep you around, and it has nothing to do with the work you actually do. Like
Right. Well, it depends a bit on the company, I guess.
yeah,
The company where I work is more of if you never ask, you never
results
get it.
oriented. Yeah, right.
Not really results oriented, but it's more of if you're okay with your salary and you don't say anything about it, then that's what they'll believe. So they're not doing the tribe thing either. So you basically have to ask. But if you come in with a ridiculous offer like I did, then they're going to laugh at your face. But they didn't want to lose me. They were very
Right.
happy with me. And that's the thing I wasn't looking at.
So
clearly.
that's exactly. So that's exactly the thing. So it sounds like you were doing the work enough. Like it sounds like you were producing results and the work was fine. But it's so that's not the issue, right? The issue was some kind of FE issue.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always an FE issue.
So I see a contrast as well, because I don't ask for raises. I would never ask for a raise. The only time I would ever ask for a raise is if like I found a job somewhere, like passive aggressively found a job somewhere else, and I was like, hey, they're offering me this, and I don't want to go, but maybe you can match it or something like that. Yeah. I don't have the blast. Like it sounds like your blast is even stronger than mine in some way.
Oh. Thank you. It could also be the double activated TI at the top, in which I just believe in my own self-worth. So I know what I'm doing for the company at some level. I'm not acknowledging it correctly, and therefore I start believing in that I should get more. I should get more of the. I think that's the thing, though. With Demon FE, you're very sure of yourself, but you're also very dependent on other people's other people valuing what you do. And if there's some kind of off balance in which you think you're not getting enough compliments, you think you're not getting enough value back, you start demanding that. Because why? We are not responsible for the FE, so we're not checking there. We're not doing it. We're not asking questions. And we're basically just demanding that other people give us the FE because we don't want to do it. So if I don't get enough compliments, I will basically go into a spiral of they should thank me more, which is a completely wrong conclusion. That's where I think the TI is just bullshitting ourselves, because those kinds of thoughts, they just destroy relationships. So that's one thing in which having TI really sucks.
Yeah. What about the tribe fear? Do you have that as well?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like this interview.
Yeah.
It's a fear of.
Not of me though, right?
No. No. I don't fear you. It's a general fear. So there's a tribe.
Was that an FE lie, or you really generally don't?
I generally don't fear you. I think we speak the same language. It's all fine. But you are definitely part of the tribe in which I fear my evaluation.
Blasphemy. Don't call me that. That's
mean. Well, let's call it the OP tribe. So I really found a home in OP. I found like a place where I can be, me, where I can help other people as well. It's a wonderful place to be. So by going onto an interview, maybe saying some dumb shit, that place in the tribe might get devaluated or might become different. And that's the fear. I'm not really fearing of saying something that was wrong. I'm fearing of the reaction. And that's also the bullshit, obviously, because if I were to actually do the FE, I would see my standing in the tribe, in this OP tribe, and I would be fine with it. But it's just a matter of what if I do something wrong and they will shun me for some reason? I don't know. Come after me with pitchforks.
But yeah, like where does that fear come from? Has that happened in the past, sort of thing?
I don't really know.
Because someone was talking about this. Carlos was talking about this morning, how he had dogs and he put shock collars on them. If they would get out of the yard, they would get shocked, and eventually they would listen. They would not get out of the yard, right? And I feel like that's where my fear of my demons came from. Like I was just hurt by them so many times, so now I'm just too afraid to like get close to the fence anymore.
Right. I feel for me it's a bit the other way around. I haven't done them enough, so I'm just not checking there. I'm not actually checking what the tribe thinks of me, and then when it comes to interview time, I am like kind of insecure about what the tribe will think of me, and that's where the whole tidal wave, the whole spiral comes from. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you just from the tribe perspective, the FE is that you are valuable to the tribe, especially because of the hosting, the watch party, and welcoming new people. And even if the old people don't see it, the new people do, and they're building up. So yeah, you have a lot of value there.
Thank you.
That,
Thank you. Yeah. It's I've been actually having a bunch of conversations about just going onto an interview and having all the different perspectives from a lot of double deciders. It basically means, it could go either way. You could either do a good interview or you could do like a shitty interview, and that's fine. It's just removing the pressure.
Right. Well, I mean, so far the interview's been good. I think everyone agrees. But the other thing,
I think so too.
We're just checking ourselves here.
Yeah.
No, but and then the other thing is, like, as long as you can't just. Here's what I keep thinking. It's like, if I do something really spectacular, now I no longer have to pay attention to the tribe. Like, I've done my dues. Yeah,
I've done it.
But that's not how it works. You've got to do the upkeep. Yeah, you got to change the oil. So as long as you continue doing that really annoying tribe thing, then you're in good standing. Yeah. As soon as you think, "Oh, I've done enough," that's
where you're wrong. That's when it starts. I'm trying to convert that fear trigger into like waking up and just checking my surroundings. Am I actually not valuable? And if so, what can I do about it? But that's just that's the training program, I think, in which you're trying to do your demons every day a little bit. You're trying to do, or at least for me, I'm trying to blast a bit more. I'm trying to do feelings a bit more. And then when it comes to, tidal wave time, it's easier to just wake up and not let the fear make you do things you're going to regret, or just drop the fear. That's basically it. Drop the whole decider fear and just be a double decider.
Well, I mean, also the fear makes sure, because we do have a blindness, right? So the fear makes sure that we're careful and we don't it's like if all of a sudden all of the lights went dark, you would walk very carefully because you might bump into something.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, it's like, because you're not seeing, you have to be more careful. Like, I think that's the way I kind of see it.
Yeah. No, definitely. The problem with that, though, if you're always careful, you're going to slip up at one point. And it's usually the slip-ups, that you'll say something hurtful to someone that you really didn't want to, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that happens. Like, you let the TI slip and they're like, oh, shit, now they see me.
Yeah.
They see what I really am. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're afraid of. But if you do it a bit more, if you just let the FE out a bit more, let the TI out, be an idiot in front of the tribe, other people will also expect that a bit more of you.
Yeah, I don't see FE as being an idiot. To be honest, like, I think your value in the tribe has nothing to do with your TI. I think it's all your FE.
Right. So how would you see them working together in that case?
Let's ask someone else.
Yeah.
Sorry, you got blast demon there.
Oh, right.
Well, so here, like, this ties into this question. I want to start getting some questions. Why is your blast so good? Because your blast is pretty good. Well, in terms of information sharing, right? Not in terms of, I don't know.
Right. Well, it could be that my blast is more information than energy. Because when it comes to actually getting things done, and you can ask Melanie for confirmation, I don't do a thing usually. And I'll get started way too late, and then I have to rush it, and I don't like that. So there's things going on there. When it comes to talking, I don't know. For some reason, talking never. I can talk. That's never been a problem.
So
I don't know.
I mean, the theory goes a little bit that, like, if you have consumed sleep, then you're more processed. So when it comes time to sharing information, it's organized.
Yeah.
Whereas
that could be it as
consume
well.
play is less organized on the information. So even if consume play blast will might even sound worse at communicating.
Right. Yeah, a big difference I'm seeing with my consume play cousins or brothers or whatever
Right.
is they. So when you actually see me in a group setting with multiple people, you'll see me being the consume sleep mopey, not talking, not blasting, not even playing with the tribe
Yeah.
unless I feel comfortable. And where I see the consume plays is more like they're getting out there a bit more. They know how to do the play with the
Not
tribe.
this one. Not this
Oh.
one. Yeah. Maybe more today, but like, oh man. I'm off in my own, even at things like even at things where like I'm hosting a part, like it's my party, like my son's birthday or something like that. I'm like letting other people. Yeah, I'm not out there. I'm off on my own.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. It's still the TI at the top, right? We're still
Yeah. Yeah.
basically introverts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that was a good answer. So Ian's got a question. He's got the same question twice. I think there might be a little sensory change, so I'll put the second one. How much effort do you
Sure.
make to compare what you do at work to the rest of your work tribe? Oh,
Okay,
maybe
let me
this
see
one's
if I,
better.
okay.
Okay, yeah.
That's interesting. So how much effort do you make to compare your efforts at work against the rest of the tribe?
So what the rest of the tribe are doing at work? Like, are you doing more than them? Are they more efficient than you? Are they more valuable because of their work?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't doing a lot of that before. I was just looking at my own island. Like I want my own office. I don't care about the rest. I want it. But since I think a couple of
I
years,
have my
3 or
own
4
office.
years, I have it too. Now that I work at home.
I have a door too. I close it.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. The problem with or the problem that I think one of the cooler things about my position is I am partly responsible for hiring, for educating new people. So I kind of have to do the comparison nowadays to which person is more valuable than another person, and that led me to seeing myself in a different light as well. Like I'm now seeing that there's some SIs in my department that are just way better at documentation,
Mhm.
and um, I'll see myself now asking them for help on that because
Oh,
I know for myself that I'm just shit at it. So I see that a bit more happening, but it's recent. It's a couple of years. Yeah.
interesting.
I hope
Cool.
that answers your question.
Sure.
Ian.
Well, I mean, it's not like you guys don't know each other. He can hit you
That's
up if you
true.
need,
You can always message me.
but the rest of the tribe won't get it.
Yeah.
um, I'm wondering. Okay, so I'm wondering how play is supposedly your hobby animal. Then.
Um, yeah. Well, I can definitely see that in life. So I recently got into the Discord server. That was like a step. I wasn't just jumping on. Same with the Facebook group. I just looked from the shadows for
Yeah.
months before I got typed, and it's just I'm just not that quick at jumping in. But once I do, I really enjoy it. I want to do more of it, like with the voice chat. I really enjoy when I'm in there. I want to engage
Yeah.
with the people, but it's still not something I can do all day long and be comfortable with it. At some point, it's just too draining, and I'd
Yeah.
rather do the consume sleep.
Do you see it getting less draining over time as you practice more at it, as you exercise more?
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, and a lot of that comes from the FE because the SE and seeing people and seeing what they're doing, that's really not an issue. I can see that, but then
Getting
attaching
called out
value
here.
to it. Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, yeah. There you'll see the blast as well.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, the FE. It's just if you are truly interested in another person and can truly see it from their perspective, whatever they're telling, it becomes easier to relate, and you'll see the effects come back at you. So then the
Yeah.
play becomes easier as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one of the things OP does help with, like once you know people's types, is you are truly interested because you can never really learn this stuff on your own.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you need to
Yeah.
be interested in them because their perspective can like teach you OP. So it kind of tricks you into valuing them in some way.
Absolutely. And it's also something I'm rediscovering every month. Like, oh, I should watch other people more, because I've learned something new, and I
That's
should
right.
have done the tribe function.
I mean, again, that's where the source of the information is. Like, it's not the blasters. It's not people who have boiled all this stuff down. Like, they're just passing on the stereotypes. They're passing on the echo chamber. Like, the source of the information is learning it from the people themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's the draining part as well, because it's draining because I don't feel comfortable doing it all the time. Like with the I'd rather just do TI all day long, just consume sleep, be in my own inner world or whatever. And then when it comes to the tribe, you get like one hit or one emotional feedback that wasn't expected, and you just run away because it's negativity. So doing that
even
more.
For me, I've seen like my play get better over just interviewing, because like I've been practicing since I was young on how to play from reading a book. It was like teaching me how to play, and then my first interviews were only like half hour, and I had a back-to-back one, and I was just completely dead. Like on the second one, it was horrible. But now, like,
yeah, well, definitely. I mean, there's a difference in consume play comparing to the EPs, because they have access to that tribe function, right? They can see it, they can use it in a better way than the IPs can. We have to do our daemon function in order to do the play, even when we're responsible for it.
Sorry, I'm not going to do this. I was going to message her, but she's pushing on my fears there, telling me I dug in my own grave here. I have value in the tribe, said that. Go away. Yeah. Cool. Well, awesome. Do you have anything that you want to share with the tribe about your type a little bit that maybe other people of your type want to know?
Yeah, there might be a bunch of things. So for one, I think what Dave and Chan have been doing with the alpha states, doing the FI for ISTPs, that really works. That really works. Yeah.
But you have to get there through the FE though. You can't just go right for the FI.
Yes and no, because we can do the DI. It's just a matter of attaching emotions and values to it. So it's having a crying routine.
Yeah.
It's having a way to emote, basically. And
yeah, but I mean, I don't think that might not be FI, right? I don't think FI. I don't know.
Well, it's my own values. I definitely say it like that, because usually I don't know really what my own values are. I think I like something, and I have reasons in liking something, but actually valuing, actually having emotions for it, that's that's a different ballpark.
Well, so, what Rob says was really good about the emotions pointing to values, where it's like, you know, like even FI might not necessarily be aware of their values. How do they get aware of them? Is through the emotions. So it's like, why am I upset about this? Oh, I must value something. And like, that's kind of how you get to your values, is what he was saying, at least. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I've been trying to do that. Whenever I feel emotional, I'm just going into, why am I feeling this? What is the feeling? So first, what is the actual feeling? Is this grief? Is this anger? Is this whatever? And then trying to map that into my own introverted world and seeing if I can TI it. And then just that's all of me. And then once I go to the tribe with it, I have a better understanding of why I felt that way, and I can communicate it better, so that they can understand me in the emotional spectrum better, and therefore I can understand myself. But you definitely have to blast about it.
Yeah. See, personally, I'm not overly. I'm not on board completely yet. Like I'm not putting my TI stamp of approval on the alpha state. Yeah. I'm not doing, because I saw the reasoning and the logic, how they got there, and I have a problem with that reasoning and logic. And so like the end result might still be right, but the way they got there wasn't. So now I have to confirm it for myself, because I'm not following their logic. Yeah.
Right. Well, actually, I came up on an exercise a while ago. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. Because so I play pool in competition form. So I'm part of a team, and we play every week against another team. Well, now we don't because of Corona.
Yeah.
And one of the issues I've always had was once there was a bit of tension in the game, then I started playing worse.
Really?
And normally, I can kind of calculate the table and where it's going to go and which balls I should hit. But then when the emotions came around, I got swept away by them because I'm not comfortable in that realm. And sometimes the opponent can get angry with me because I'm playing too slow or because I'm doing certain things. And that would hit me as well. And then a professional pool player once said, if you have that situation, just go into yourself and try to figure out what are you actually feeling. And that will help you clear up the emotion realm. Now, looking back at it, because if you see the face of the guy that said it, you'll think, oh, he's an ISTP, probably. But it's just something that I picked up. And then I get that FI nugget from Dave and Shan, like you should do the FI. And it made sense to me because I was already doing that in my league games.
Yeah.
Now doing it in real life.
I'm not sure that's FI either, right? Yeah, I'm not sure that's FI either. But
it's naming the feelings for me.
Yeah.
And that really works. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's more accurate.
So that's one thing. And
bullying with my double masculine.
Oh no, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll disagree with you all day long.
Yeah.
But the other thing is just the double deciding. Just go out and be open to whatever people have to say about you, and recognize that your standing in the tribe is not that important. It's not that important how good of you or how good you think of yourself, and it's not that important how good other people think of you. It's a balance game. You just need to do a little bit at the time. So
that's a good blaster lesson. Yeah, really good. Heather's got an interesting question here. How do you gauge yours and people's value? Example, skills, intellect, productivity, or something else entirely? So, I mean, that's assuming that we do gauge, and when we do gauge, it's usually, are they agreeing with me? Then they're valuable.
Yeah, it's a very TE question.
Right. So embarrassing, but yeah.
Usually what I do is measure it up against my own skill set. So if it's someone that has a skill set that's better than mine, then I think I don't mind it that much. But if it's worse than mine, then I'll just look down at them, like unconsciously.
Yeah.
And that's what happens there.
That was really hard for me for a long time. Like I would still, when I had a boss that was just a lot dumber than me, how do you take dumb orders from them and be like, yeah, okay, I'll do this dumb thing?
Yeah, that's hard. That's that's especially when you are so sure that your way of doing it is better.
Right. Yeah.
One of the things so OP helps a lot in this, right? Because sometimes it's just a way of just doing it because a person asks it of you. Don't be so stubborn all the time. That's one way.
That's what I was doing. But
yeah,
regardless, it's hard. It's not.
It's hard. It's an ego thing, I think, for TIs, in which we're just, how can I do something that's less than how good I am? Or how good I can make it.
How can I go down to this level?
Yeah, especially in software programming. But you learn that quickly enough when you've built some monster of a product, and your boss is like, yeah, okay, you spent what was it, 150,000 euros more than was estimated, and I'm kind of angry at you. So you make that mistake once, and if it's a big one, you can learn from it. But it's still hard. It still is icky to. It feels like you're lowering yourself, but that's the idea, because you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for other people.
Yeah. So Kevin has an interesting question. Do we think, he's asking both of us, or let's ask you first because you're the interviewee. Do you think that the way the tribe perceive you is a part of you or not?
Well, do you guys think that the way the tribe perceives you is a part of you or not? That's a very interesting question. I don't think that I include that as much as I should. Yeah. I think I present myself in the way that I want to present myself. That's my TI, and the tribe just has to deal with it. I think that's what I'm doing all day.
Do you get that too? Like this is also part of our delusion, right? Where it's like, if they misunderstand me, that's on them. If they misperceive me, that's their fault.
Yeah. I'll try to make sure that they don't. I'll try to make sure I'll come up with example after example why I am a certain way, even when I'm wrong. I'll just believe it. But yeah, to be honest, I'm just not tracking the tribe that much. I'm definitely not seeing all that's going on there. That's the problem. Yeah.
Okay, we've got an interesting question from our community troll.
Okay, so what do you do when you realize you're actually not as good as you thought you were and others are better than you? It totally depends on what I believe in myself, right? So for instance, mathematics, I know I'm not that good at it. So in this case, I know that Benjamin has way more education and way more experience in that. So I'll just be like, yeah, Benjamin can do that. I don't have to be that identity. But
so your value is somewhere else. Like you're deciding where your value is.
Yeah, definitely. But when it comes to software engineering, and other people are criticizing my ideas and they're right, that feels like an ego death. That feels like I am not valuable, even though maybe 99% of what I did was valuable and the 1% was not. It still feels like a whole clusterfuck.
Yeah. It feels like though there's always a reason why they're right. If why you were wrong. Like you could have, like you're not getting enough credit because you could have also been right. I don't know. Does that make sense to you? Something like that?
Kinda. So on the credit part, I think we're always craving more credits. We're always craving more. Like, look at us. Look at how good our TI is. Look at our thinking. But yeah, I think it just comes down to because it's TI, because it's so damn personal. Whenever there's outside critique, we don't accept any negativity there, and it just feels like a flood wave of you. It feels like people are staring at you and telling you you're wrong. You're not worth it. You should have known this. You should have done better. I think that's the appropriate term. That's what I'm telling myself. I should have done better.
Yeah.
Which is unrealistic to expect. Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, it does incubate growth in some way.
Yeah.
It does make you better.
If you can turn that negative into a positive, definitely.
Yeah. So this is a very deep and difficult question. I don't know how we can answer this.
Do you think the increasing interconnectivity of the world makes it harder to feel significant? Does it ever feel like someone else is beating you to things? Yeah, definitely. Even in this community, especially with type twins, they tend to come up with the same ideas I have, and I'm always like, yeah, if I just blasted a bit more, I might have been, the first. But that's the significance thing again. But okay, so to answer your question, increasing interconnectivity of the world makes it harder to feel significant. I think so, yeah. Because what happened 50 years ago, you just knew 100 people, and within those 100 people, you were your own person, and you had significance.
Chances are there's no type twin out of 100.
Right. But now with the web, there's millions of ISTPs out there. There's millions of ENFJs out there. So they definitely will have the same kind of ideas.
It's a wake up call because we aren't actually a special snowflake like our delusion tells us we are. Yeah,
definitely. That has been the hardest one to process, actually.
Is it? Yeah.
It felt like a relief, but also as like I am not special is something I need to tell myself every day, basically. It's becoming a mantra. But yeah.
Cool, man. Well, everybody check out Floris and Melanie's website.
Yeah, you should.
And
really.
yeah.
Yeah.
And where else can we see more of you, Floris?
I'm sometimes on the Facebook groups. I'm on the Discord server a couple times a week. So if you want to chat with me, you can always hit me up there. I have a YouTube channel, which is not very active at the moment, but
we're gonna share that. I keep wanting to get your YouTube channel from you and subscribe, but I never got it. So you're gonna give it to me. We're gonna share it.
Definitely, we'll put it in the links below.
Awesome. Okay. Have a good one, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure.